Why not? Right? Why not rank all of the Indiana Jones movies, especially because the brand new film just came out? I'll be honest though, I am not the biggest fan of the Indiana Jones franchise. Not because I don't like any of the movies or the character, quite the opposite. I think this character is fascinating, it's great. But I did not grow up with these movies. I didn't start watching them until I was already in my 20s. So let's start this list off, right? Number 5 in what I would say is the worst Indiana Jones movie of all time, and also, in my opinion, a piece of shit film, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I just recently did an unholy rant on this film, so I've talked at length, pretty extensively, about why I think this movie sucks. The fact that it came so many years after the previous film before it, and so Harrison Ford was at an age where I just didn't think people wanted to see Indiana Jones at this age doing the things that he's doing. It's different when you're telling a story about a character that has aged, but when you have him at an older age still doing the things that he did when he was younger, almost not acknowledging the fact that he's so much older now, almost pretending like he's still the same guy. It's preposterous, it's ludicrous. It's not the type of story that I think they should have told. Use of CGI really destroys this movie more than anything else, because at the time the CGI looked bad, even for the time. But going back and seeing just how over reliant Spielberg, we're talking about, a guy who was known for so many blockbusters and for practical effects and for making things look realistic, believable. I don't know what happened. He lost his goddamn mind. He thought Lucas was onto something and said, let's go full CGI. A lot of these chase scenes look fake as hell. I don't get me started on those goddamn monkeys. The decision to bring in Shia LaBeouf as his son, very questionable. And this plot of an alien skull being the big reveal, and the sight of this shitty looking alien at the very end sealed the fate. Never mind nuking the fridge, right? Never mind all of the other dumb stuff that happened. I think the alien reveal at the end sealed this movie's fate, at least for me. Number 4, Dial of Destiny, which is the newest entry in the series. And this might sound like I think this movie's bad because it's this low on my list. But no, I think for Harrison Ford being 80 years old, for the character being at this point in his life, and for this being the first Indiana Jones film not directed by Spielberg, directed by James Mangold, I thought they told the best possible story that they could have told. The flashback scenes and being able to de-age Harrison Ford to get to see him as the classic Indiana Jones version that we got to see almost one last time. And the villain, Mads Mikkelsen, I will say that a Nazi who is trying to go back in time in order to win the war. One of the more interesting villains that we've had. At number 3, The Last Crusade, which I know some people are like, wait, what? Because I've heard many people say that The Last Crusade is their favorite Indiana Jones movie. And honestly, I get it. I do. I understand that. You have Harrison Ford with his father, Indiana Jones, and his father, played by Sean Connery. I love their dynamic. I love their interaction. I love the back and forth. And I love basically seeing where Indiana Jones gets all of his quirks from. And the two of them going on this big adventure, this movie works for so many reasons. This movie is way better than it probably should have been, given that it's the third of a trilogy. But I also like how the film starts with a young Indiana Jones. River Phoenix playing young Indy, going on his first adventure. Like, I think that somehow works in a way that it probably shouldn't work, because it is a new actor playing the character at a young age. It is setting up stuff that normally would make you roll your eyes, but this was a good foundation point for a lot of history with the character. Number 2, Temple of Doom. There are some people who do not like this movie at all, right? Like, this movie is this high on my list. Some people think it's the worst indie film, and for a lot of reasons. One, I can't believe that it's a prequel. That it came after Raiders, but it decided to be a prequel story so that basically Spielberg can do whatever the hell he wanted, right? He didn't have to match continuity. He didn't have to follow up the events of the first film. No, he was able to tell a brand new story that took place beforehand. I love the very beginning, how it feels very much like a James Bond film. You could tell Spielberg probably wanted to make his own James Bond movie, and so seeing Harrison Ford with that suit and going on his own almost undercover adventure, all of that was great. The chase scene at the beginning is great as well. There's plenty of great action scenes. The one on the bridge is very memorable. And I love that Indy has his little sidekick, Short Round, who they needed to do more with this character, whether it was in a future movie or just in general. I love their dynamic. I love their interaction. Yes, Kate Capshaw is a little annoying. She screams a lot and whatnot. But honestly, if I was in this situation, I can't say I wouldn't be screaming the way that she is. If you saw some of the shit that she saw in person, I kind of get it. I do. Now, this movie does go in a lot of dark places. I still can't believe that it's rated PG at this time. There is some violent stuff. There is some stuff that some people might even say racist stuff, given eating the monkey brains and just some of the crazy voodoo stuff that they go to. I get that it's not everybody's cup of tea. I get that not everybody's going to appreciate it as much as I did. But I remember going into this not expecting to like it, and I had a lot of fun. But for the number one best Indiana Jones movie, it's obviously Raiders of the Lost Ark. I mean, what more needs to be said about being the first film, being able to just set the groundwork, being able to just lay the foundation for how this character is going to act, how charismatic Harrison Ford is in this role. I love the adventure. I love how the movie begins. But also the idea of this character being a professor at a university who teaches this type of stuff, teaches history, teaches archaeology, but then on the weekends goes out and has some of the craziest adventures of all time. I love that concept. I love how this character is brought forward. I love the introduction of Marion Ravenwood. She's so much fun in this first movie that I cannot believe it took them so long to bring her back. Her dynamic with Indy, her back and forth with him, it's just these two are destined to be together. I enjoyed this. I've seen some people say that, oh, you could have taken Indiana Jones out of this movie, out of the events that happen in this movie, and it doesn't change a thing, especially because the Nazis, the villains at the end, what they do, but who cares? So, guys, let me know in the comments below, what are your rankings for the Indiana Jones movies? What's your least favorite? What's your absolute favorite? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.